everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Tamia Strayhorn. I serve as a health educator at the Caldwell County Health Department, and I'm joined today with Chad BARR. He serves in the clinic at the health department as well, focusing primarily on communicable disease and tuberculosis.
That's right.
All right. Perfect. Now, the clinic provides a host of clinical services, including but not limited to primary care, adult and pediatric physicals, immunizations, communicable diseases, birth control, and they do accept private insurances, Medicaid, Medicare, and self-pay patients, okay? Alrighty, thank you so much again for joining us today, Chad, and we'll go ahead and get started. So last fall, we talked about the increase in respiratory illnesses like flu and COVID-19. Now that it is spring and the weather is warming, are we still seeing those numbers increase or decrease?
Yeah, so disease patterns often change with environmental factors and population susceptibility and behaviors. As the weather warms and people are spending more and more time outdoors, the susceptibility of respiratory infections decline. But other exposures like arboviral illnesses become more likely.
Okay, and you mentioned arboviruses. What exactly are those?
So arboviruses diseases is a general term that's used to describe infections caused by a group of viruses spread to people from the bite of an infected arthropod, which is really just an insect like a tick or a mosquito.
Okay. And are we seeing these increases of these type of diseases in Caldwell County?
Yes, in fact, there's been a sharp increase in the number of tick-borne illnesses beginning around the middle of April.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what types of diseases are we typically seeing in North Carolina?
So in Caldwell County, we really don't have a high incidence of mosquito-borne diseases like they do in eastern North Carolina. We do see cases of mosquito-borne illness each year. And in this slide, you will see the three main mosquito-borne illnesses that includes Eastern Equine Encephalitis, Crosse, and West Nile virus. Now, the non-endemic cases are most always related to travel to a location where these diseases are prevalent. In fact, last year we did have a Caldwell County resident who was diagnosed with dengue fever, and he had traveled to Asia. So we have much more tick-borne illness and tick-borne disease here in Caldwell County than we do mosquito-borne disease.
Okay, awesome. I can attest to that coming from eastern North Carolina. Mosquitoes are fierce out there. All right. And what tick-borne diseases are most prevalent in Caldwell County?
Yeah, so our most common tick-borne illnesses in Caldwell County and really in North Carolina include spotted fever, Rickettsiosis, that's formerly known as Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Ehrlichiosis and Anaplasmosis, and Lyme disease. This next slide shows the geographical locations of most common tick-borne illnesses throughout the U.S. And one interesting fact is that our data shows a direct correlation of the increase in certain diseases as ticks migrate to those new areas. One example of this is the migration of the Lone Star tick. As you can see in this slide, the significant increase in occurrences from 2015 to 2022. And with these increases, we see a direct correlation and increase in the number of Ehrlichiosis cases.
Wow. Now, is Ehrlichiosis, a mouthful, tongue twister, our most common tick-borne disease in Caldwell County?
Yes, in fact, Ehrlichiosis has now surpassed Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Lyme disease combined. So in this slide, you can see the sharp increase in the cases in just 1 year. And you can note that that red line that you see is the 5-year average. So we're well above that average, and each year it continues to increase.
Okay. And how would you say our Caldwell County residents can best protect themselves from these arboviruses?
Yeah, so to me, prevention is key in this. Mosquitoes thrive where there are areas of standing water, and the CDC recommends to, when possible, remove the habitat where mosquitoes can reproduce. This includes cleaning of rain gutters, making sure that the water flows freely, removing old tires and other water collection canisters, and removing stagnant water from bird baths. And the CDC recommends to do that about twice weekly. For both ticks and mosquitoes, you can use products containing 0.5% permethrin or DEET on your boots or clothing. And be sure to treat them in advance and allow them to dry before exposure. Natural scent products like lemon oil eucalyptus are also available and are registered with the EPA as safe for children over the age of 3. At our child health fair, we sometimes demonstrate tick safety and how to fight the bite. And we do that by demonstrations on the importance of wearing light-colored clothing, like you can see in this slide here. The importance of checking your body for ticks after being outdoors or in places where ticks live, especially in areas including your head, your ears, under your arms, around your waist or belly, between your legs, and on the back of your knees.
Wow, thank you so much. So if someone finds a tick that's attached to them, what should they do?
Well, first of all, don't panic. If you find a tick attached to your skin, remove it as soon as possible. Do not attempt to burn the tick or apply nail polish, petroleum jelly, or any other substance to the tick to try to make the tick detach from your skin, because that may agitate the tick and cause infected fluid from the tick to come into your skin. Using tweezers, grasp the tick as closely to the skin as possible. Use steady, even pressure to pull the tick from the skin. Do not twist or jerk at the tick, because that could cause the little mouth parts to break off in the skin. And after removing the tick, thoroughly clean the bite area with soap, water, and apply rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer. And it's also important to write down the date of the exposure and monitor for symptoms.
Wow, such wonderful and informative information. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chad.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And I would also like to mention there is a QR code at the closing of this presentation for you to take a look at. If you want to scan that code, it directs you to the CDC guide to tick-borne illnesses. Okay? And again, should you ever wish to take advantage of our services at the Caldwell County Clinic, please do not hesitate to visit our website or to give us a call at 828-426-8400. Thank you so much.
Thank you.